Volume questions can be an example of a topic where you get very good at the tricky algebraic ones, but then lose your bearings on the really simple ones. Volume basically comes in two ways. One is gold-plated formulas that just give you the answer straight away. So for example, the volume of a sphere just needs the radius, and then you put it straight in the formula. The formula normally has an R there. You just make the R equal to 10, and then you're done. You literally type that through a calculator and you're done. But the other way you get volume is with cross-section area times perpendicular height. Now this only works if the cross-section is constant. So for example, it doesn't matter whether you're at the front or the back or the middle, the area of that cross-section is still the same. So therefore you can't use it for this, because the cross-section, so this circle, this circle, this circle, they don't have the same area. So you can't use this principle for that, but you can use it for that. You can use it for a triangular prism, you can use it for a cuboid. All you need to be able to do is work out the area at the front, or in other words, the area of the constant cross-section. So you've got to know your areas of shapes. Okay, so area of a circle is pi r squared. So for example, if that was a 5 and that was a 10, it would be the area of the front times how far it goes back. It's done. This is half base times height, so if that was 6 and that was 4 and that was 8, we go half the base times the height times by how far it goes back, and that's your volume. The area of a cuboid is just the area of any one of the faces times how it goes back, how far it goes back. So if that was 7 and that was 3 and that was 4, the area of this is 7 times 3, so it's 21. So it's 21 times 4, that's your volume. In other words, the area of the front times how far it goes back. What other shapes do you need to know? You need to know the area of a parallelogram. The area of a parallelogram is the perpendicular height. So if that was 4 times by the length. So if that went back 7, it'd be the area of the front, which is 6 times 4 times how far it goes back, which is 7. You need to know the area of a kite. And by the way, I should have mentioned up here, you've got another formula for the area of a triangle. It's half AB sine C, but that's a matter for another video. You need to know the area of a kite. Now, a kite is an example of a parallelogram, so if I tell you the perpendicular height and the length, then you're sweet. But you're also sweet if I tell you the diagonals, because the volume of a kite is the half the product. So if that's 8 and that's 4, it's half the product of the diagonals, so it's 16 times how far it goes back. So the volume of this would be 16 times 7. Now of course, if you're not actually given the details, you've got to be prepared just to use a letter instead of these. So if I hadn't told you that that was 4, I'd told you that was H. Just do your thing with an H there. If I hadn't told you that that was 6, if I told you that was an X, just do your thing, just 4 times X with an X there. It's just as good. And finally, the other formula that you need to know is the area of a trapezium, so that you can do a volume of a trapezoidal prism. So the area of the front is the sum of the diagonals, sorry, the sum of the parallel sides. So that's 14. Halved, so that's 7, times by the perpendicular height. Okay. Okay, so the area of the front here is, I'll say that again, it's half times the sum of the sum of the parallel sides times the perpendicular height. So that great big complicated thing, that's just telling me the area of the front. If I want the volume of the prism, I now need to multiply by how far it goes back. So half times 6 plus 8 times 4, that's the area of the front, timesing by 10 gives you the volume. The formula for that you often see is half h a plus b. The a plus b are the lengths of the parallel sides, the h is the perpendicular height, that is the distance straight from one parallel side to the other, and the half there is just part of the formula.